Hey everybody, quick one here. The old captain did some economics. I economics today, and because I have, it keeps coming back like Stephen King's The Pet Cemetery. Like they keep coming out of the ground, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Mark Dayton, he has this." And so let me explain to you guys about Mark Dayton's Minnesota economic miracle. An article was written in the Huffington Post, I don't know, a year or two ago, about Minnesota and how great it's kicking ass, and Mark Dayton is to blame, and he's done all in this wonderful thing, and we have a surplus, and they tax the rich. That was the whole thing, is they tax the rich. So it's the Huffington Post, it's people from the left, and you pat them on the head, yeah, sure, because deep down inside I know these people are lying, or there's always a catch. There's always a spin. But I heard it like the fourth or fifth time now, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'm going to go see this economic miracle. I'm going to go prove it or not. And so I went online, and basically, I can't make it any more simpler than this. It's a lie. There is no economic miracle. If you look at Minnesota gross state product, which is basically gross domestic product, but by the states they call it gross state product, and you compare it against the nation's gross domestic product, since Dayton's been governor, he was inaugurated in January of 2011, so 2011, 2012, so for the past 5 years roughly, you take the average economic growth rate of Minnesota and the nation, and Minnesota has a average, 2.2% economic growth. That's not booming. That's not Reagan. That's not the 40s or the 50s or the 60s. It's not when evil white racist males ruled the world and we beat our wives daily. It's not that kind of level of economic growth. It's about half of what it used to be. Right, back in those days, in the evil days of those horrible 50s, the 60s, and 40s, economic growth averaged around 4.25%, 4.5%. Now we're at about half that in Minnesota. All right, so this is not a booming economy. This is barely keeping up with inflation and population growth, is really what it is. Well, the United States, I thought, well, okay, if Minnesota's a booming economy with this pathetic growth rate, well, then the United States must be really low. The United States averaged 2.1%. So this booming economic miracle, this Mark Dayton's Minnesota economic miracle, is 0.1% faster than, that's a cough. Someone could have farted the other way, and that would have maybe triggered somebody to go and produce a little bit more economic growth. There's no economic miracle. And I kind of kicked myself for that. You fell for it, Aaron. You actually wanted to, but it's becoming such a talking point now. It's such a lie to the masses. You tell a lie enough, people will start to believe it. No, I can't. No, there's no economic miracle here. There isn't. It's pathetically slow. The miracle that they're talking about is how the government jacked up taxes on the rich, and now we've scared everyone away from investing in Minnesota, and so they got a surplus. And I'm sure in leftists and Democrats' minds, an ever-increasing tax and an ever-increasing government and more money going into the government, that's like an economic success. Well, that's called socialism and communism. So I can understand from their ideological perspective that this is considered an economic miracle. But by that perspective, well, then Venezuela is an economic miracle, and Cuba is an economic miracle, and the Soviet Union is too. Yeah, screw economic growth. But if we're going to use words, and words have meanings, there is no economic miracle. It's not like Minnesota is this booming economy and we just walk around and we have gold-plated streets. It's not that. It's cold, it's crappy, it's shitty, the people are kind of stoic, it ain't fun. Seriously, you want to go to a booming economy, go to Texas, go to Florida, go to Nevada, and forget economic growth. Just, it's cold as hell here. Right? There's no reason to be here. Minnesota's like the fat chick that thinks she's hot. There's just no reason to be here. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. There is no, literally, empirically, take emotion, take politics out of it. If you look at the economic growth rate, there is no economic miracle here. It is a lie. Mark Dayton didn't do anything. If anything, he maybe inhibited it. But as it stands right now, we are almost identical to the economic growth rate of the United States as the nation as a whole. We're nothing special, so when you hear this, just understand it's a lie, and it's the left celebrating that they got more money from the taxpayers. That's really what it is in terms of an economic miracle. Best of luck to you. Toodles.